good like Ethiopian beans. Oh man, it's the best. It's the more complicated you can make your coffee, the better it is.
Got me staring at that whole little setup I have. A fucking espresso machine and a grinder and a kettle.
Oh yeah, you're doing it right. Yeah, I think one thing that we need in DeFi is like an anonymous mail service, so that I can like send out coffee beans for like Christmas gifts or whatever.
Yeah, like all the FX mugs and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there should be like a what the hell we need? We need like a escrow company.
Something like that.
But then there's your point of failure, right? Like it has to be a permissionless mail service that has no escrow. Anonymous escrow.
Yeah, we need like an anti-federal X.
You literally have the word Fed in your name, and you're using them to ship your cups. I went ahead.
Why no? We're not related to the government.
I started the recording even like it was mid coffee talk.
Oh.
So this is it's actually the 12th Graze, but I had a 10.5 or like a 9.5. That was the Garrett special. So I don't know why I did a 0.5. So now I'm always going to be like one behind. So welcome to the 11.5 the 12th Graze with Kmets from FXN or F of X. Sorry. And,
that's right.
I'm waiting on. I think I got Hawthorne and Panda coming.
Do they travel in pair? As a llama
No,
pack?
they're like as far from each other, both, in their like their the way they act and their locations.
I mean, but you can't prove we're not the same person.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
been on the same call at the same time.
I'm gonna switch accounts real quick, and then Panda will be online. So hold on 1 second.
He was just on making fun of me, like in the warm-up call. Oh, congratulations on a badass booster round.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, we can dive all into that if you like, because that was the llama's first booster round, and one of the things that got me really involved in Aladdin that was really cool was the booster round, and so it's really but before F of X, like Aladdin was sort of like this small country road, backwoods place of the Curve ecosystem where it was just real small and nice and polite, and everybody was like, just a good old time. And once we kind of got like FX absorbed into Convex, it just was like, oh boy, this is the big time now. And so the booster rounds have definitely taken on a much different flavor, and we're learning as we go. But you guys had a fantastic showing in your first booster round with FX.
Sorry, I didn't do like a proper intro. I just said Kmets from F of X, but this is Kmets from Aladdin. I know that you guys. I'll put all the anybody listening to the recording. I'll be able to put all your links, everything to all the Aladdin website and the FX protocol website, their Twitter, everything will be in the links, obviously. And the booster program just closed yesterday. Was the end of the vote correct, or day before yesterday?
Yeah, it was the 25th, so that was yesterday. Yep.
And then we got we were the first. It was our first round as a llamas as a group, the first whitelisted partner protocol, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of like pitched it on Twitter and in like CVX Discord as like vote for us. It's like a default vote, like we're trying to like play that game where like if it's too confusing to vote for all these guys and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, just vote for the llamas, and then it goes to all of us.
Yeah, I mean that is sort of like the ideal scenario with having you guys in the booster round, especially because we know all the good things you guys are doing within the Curve ecosystem, especially like with all the projects you guys are working on and building things, and of course ultimately that's sort of the hope with having you guys in the Aladdin booster program, is you guys will, essentially contribute in the same manner towards the Aladdin ecosystem, as it were. And so, yeah, I mean, you guys have, last I checked, I believe it was 194 FXN that will be vesting over the next 12 months to your treasury, I believe it is. So
yeah, it's actually my wallet, but I'll be happy to pass it out. Yeah, but I mean, it's like a $20,000 airdrop. I mean, like once every quarter, or 3 times a year.
Well, we try to aim for once every other month, but I mean, we're very busy right now, and so like sometimes it might slide a month or so. But we try to be 4 to 6 times a year. I mean, we have a designated amount of tokens that are set for the boosters. So no matter if we slide or whatever, like that entire token allocation amount will go to the boosters. I believe it's 3%. Will go to the boosters. I mean, the timing of it might be just a little bit this shot. I believe it's over 3 years. But we'll get them all out. They'll be in the hands of the boosters. And by the way, for folks that participate in the booster round and we're just kind of like, my goodness, this is so difficult. I don't have the connections or the political savvy to navigate this, which is kind of a new thing for us. We're always looking for ways to improve the booster rounds and make it such that the people that are really contributing are being justly rewarded. And because that's basically what the booster rounds are. Is it's basically our marketing program, right? It's our way to basically be like, you've done these great tasks for us. You've really done some things for the booster program, and so we want to reward you with something that's real and not just points.
Yeah, well, it's the opposite of points. This is like real money. I mean, it's legit money. So, the fact that you can vest it, or you can stake it while it's vesting and be able to collect the yield on it. I mean, it's a drip plus it's an airdrop.
Yeah, that is like probably like one of the biggest, coolest upgrades. Is like you can get your FXN and then vest it as CVX FXN or SDFXN, whatever you want, and collect the yield. And so it's a pretty cool upgrade. I've locked some of mine as CVX FXN, and pretty nice. So
it's nice to have it throwing off some yield, and it's not going to be a static system. I mean, since it is the marketing arm, right? Like it's going to change. I mean, there's going to be people that are going to be like super hot at certain times that are going to get kind of like crypto investor this round. Obviously, he had a humongous round, and so there's going to be people that have a really big push, or they put a lot of work into it, that are going to get rewarded in one epoch, and then then you have somebody that comes up with a different idea that does something new and gets rewarded in the next one. But hopefully for us, we just kind of are like statically are able to support you through the calls, obviously, and on Twitter, and we're just kind of like the people that are always there, just like kind of consistent. That's my hope, is that we can just always be a presence that's supporting you guys.
That's right. You're locked at the hip with me now, Cogsy.
I can't. Yeah, we have a multi-sig that we both share. I mean, what are we supposed to do?
You're locked in here with me.
He won't even let me buy any stupid penguins or whatever they are, the pandas. I have to ask for Kmets permission before I can spend any money.
This is for your own benefit, young man.
Yeah, you got to keep Cogsy on a very short leash.
All right, so a huge booster round. Congratulations to everybody who got, and congratulations to all the llamas, because it's going to keep growing and then throwing off yield, and it's a black hole for you guys. That's another thing I like about the idea for us. Is part of our sales pitch as vote for the llamas is it's never coming to market. It's going to be perma-locked even after it vests. It's still staying locked, so it's not. It's basically gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's like such a cool feature, and a lot of people try to, play that game. Is like, if you vote for me, I'll lock it and whatnot. But with you guys, it's like, yep, yeah, it's definitely getting locked. It's going away, and
it's just gone.
Yeah, are you guys like you're going to be collecting the yield on it? Is that correct with the CVX FXN, or have you guys determined that?
we didn't talk about which one we were going to go with, but it's for sure getting locked. I mean, or going to get vested, staked while vested.
Okay.
Hawthorne, did you know which one you want to use?
Yeah, I mean, at least in like to me, I would like to be able to like because it's it picks out like a pretty handy a yield coin, like at wrap stake ETH, and I think at least in my opinion, I would like to have that be one of the main things that's like passed through to llamas. I yield, and we'll just try to keep growing those assets that can act as an engine to that drip.
So whenever gas makes sense, we just lock it once every couple of weeks or whatever, or just no, we never have to. It continues to vest as it's vesting. You're collecting the yield on the full percentage, right? The entire position.
Yeah, you don't ever. I mean, the only time you ever really have to claim is when it's completely vested, and even then, I mean, it'll still be thrown off the yield. So, I mean, if you just want to leave it there, you can. But I would obviously.
There would be a whole unnecessary step at the end of the 12-month period where you claimed it and then relocked it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So
at least with us, as well as we'd like to use some of it to do like specific kind of like a grant work to develop like specific things for Aladdin. So like a lot of it will be kept and locked and just used as like that yield engine. But we want to be a little flexible too to be able to keep contributing and creating opportunities.
Yeah, like Aladdin specific bounties or badges.
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of what we're doing for this round. Was we're making that dash,
right, for Jousting's dash.
Yeah.
We've got some other stuff cooking as well.
We've got some other stuff.
Yeah, it's just we can't talk about it at the moment, but it's
incredibly classified right now.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know about it.
Even you're the last to know.
Especially I don't know about
it. For anyone who doesn't know, we mentioned it in the 24 piece, but just Jousting, who built CVX correct, is making a special dash for Aladdin, which maybe Kmets, you can tell everyone what it's going to be.
Yeah, so we one of the things with Aladdin that I've always wanted to convey, and it's always been kind of difficult, is basically just sort of the potential of the Aladdin ecosystem. And so if you take something like Concentrator, right? A Concentrator, oh gosh, I haven't looked at it lately, but it's $50 million worth of TVL, and it's like a less than a $1 million market cap, right? So it's like very much slept on, but it does what it. I mean, it's been around for almost 3 years now, and it just keeps on ticking, baby. And it's a great place to like collect yield on convex tokens. Like ACRV is basically staked CVX CRV. So it's the equivalent of, if like Lido staked ETH, ACRV is the equivalent of wrapped staked ETH. And so you can basically just hold on to it. And so we're always trying to get these like integrated into places in DeFi. But like if you have like a LP or something, you can place it into Concentrator and obviously collect the yield in the form of those A tokens like ACRV or AFXS or AFRAX ETH or what have you. But the wild thing is that VECTR is putting out like 20% APR right now, and that's only with Concentrator having like the scope of like 4% of convex TVL within it. And so one of the things I want folks to realize is like if Concentrator was to have like 10 or 20%, just that would be like insane. Sort of like the returns on VECTR or just the amount of magnitude that protocol has potential of. Same thing with Clever. Clever right now has about 2.9 million CVX in it that can be used in governance decisions. Any governance decision other than the biweekly gauge votes, because those are automated for the underlying CVX holders to max out their yields, and we could talk about that in a bit too as well. But I people don't realize that a VE Clev token has up to 200 VL CVX that it can vote with for each VE Clev. And so I was talking with the folks here, and I was like, it'd be great if we could put together a dashboard that could kind of show all these potential statistics. With FX, if FX was to ever capture 1% of Lido staked ETH, which is 92,000 staked ETH, what would that look like? It'd be oh my God, it'd be an incredible protocol, and that's just with one asset, right? And so FX can have as if folks have kind of discovered, or we've talked about a bajillion different assets. So the growth potential of these is huge. And so Just Joustings is yeah, that's right, Cogsy. He'll make it very clear. And so he's really done an effort to basically sort of take all the words that I'm saying and put them in a visual format that it makes it much clearer than what I'm saying. And so it'll make folks understand that Aladdin has a lot of room for growth, and it's kind of intrinsically beneficial to the curved convex ecosystem, and even outside of it with FX, because FX potential is kind of limitless. So there's a screenshot.
So there you go. Yeah, because I mean, for me, I've always made the mistake of looking at each protocol you guys have launched as its own island, but it's I think the magic of it all is that you guys are able to create your own Lego tower, and you don't have to have any other teams or other parties, and I'm hoping that there's not a change from X team that kind of screws you. I think that's kind of a really powerful narrative of Aladdin, is that how everything can click together so easily, and how it's meant to.
Yeah, exactly. And as you've seen with with some things like ABC CVX, if folks are familiar with that is basically Clever and Concentrator working together to maximize basically liquid CVX yields, right? And so it's the highest liquid CVX token position on the market, because that also includes Clev tokens you can earn from the emissions, the gauge emissions. But so those two work hand in hand together. The same thing with Dina's happy. Oh, there you go. That's a stamp of approval right there. With FX, the entire ecosystem can eventually at some point wind up revolving around FX in some form or fashion. And with Concentrator, we'll be rolling out fx.USD, which will basically essentially be a stable coin that earns the yields of their underlying rebalance pools, like auto compounding. And so that will be a very, very powerful system and tool in DeFi alone.
I had sorry to interrupt. That was one of my big checkmark things I needed to talk to you about was, new stuff. And it was fx.USD. That was the main topic, right? Of something that's brand new that's coming when?
February, baby.
Holy crap. That's 4 days.
Well, maybe
when?
Well,
February 25. February 2025. Sorry.
Hey, look, we've got 29 days this year, right? I mean, we've
got
just
a goddamn leap year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, so it's a big system, right? Aladdin's got a big ecosystem, and a lot of it it's like Hoth was saying, it's a lot of Legos that can fit together and You know, one of the cool things that about Aladdin is just, you know, how community oriented we are, and you know, always wanting to have like input from folks and try to, you know, do things like, you know, if folks wanted to build their own front end or something like that, you know, that'd be fantastic. And so, you know, obviously having this dashboard is a sort of a community effort as well. So, you know, and you know, there will be more things to come. I'm sure of it.
Okay, so I'm curious. So could you talk some more about how the new kind of products of f of x can be used within and like integrated into all your other protocols? And could you kind of like describe the how your optimal like Lego build?
Yeah, I mean, you know, so definitely what's on the roadmap for 2024. We'll be rolling out a new UI for FX here in the next few days. So that'll be coming out. Just some small tweaks. And then one of the things that we'll be rolling out is actually it's sort of a kind of a Lego between Concentrator and with FX is an XETH Concentrator compounder. So basically, what that'll be is you can put in LPs that you have like on Convex or whatever, and the yields that those generate will get swapped out for XETH. And so you'll just be able to earn XETH as like an LP reward for something like that. So I mean, like if you had like Try Crypto, you could put that into Concentrator and you'd be able to earn XETH on it. Or you know, imagine if you just
That's
had like
wild.
Frax base
I
pool
love.
and you could earn XETH on it. So so that's like pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that'll be going live here sometime in Q1. And then fx.USD is sort of like the big mamma jamma that we've been working on. And that one's going to be rolling out in February, like I said. So fx.USD as right now we have fETH, right, and xETH, and fETH is sort of the fractional stable coin that kind of like tracks ETH price movements like by 10%. And so fx.USD is going to be our what we call zero beta. That means it's going to be locked in step with the US dollar, $1. And then it will have
dollar.
uno, yeah. And so it will be it will be an interesting ecosystem, and it will be backed by two LSDs to start off with, two liquid stake derivatives. One is going to be staked frax ETH, and the other one will be Lido staked ETH. And essentially, what happens is you will you'll go to the FX website, and you can basically mint directly into the rebalance pool of FX/USD, and it will automatically send it to the one that's yielding higher. And then on the flip side, folks will also be able to mint the X tokens of both of those. So like you know, an X stake frax ETH and X staked ETH, and so that X token, those will be, you know, they'll operate differently than sort of like X ETH as you have now, because their leverage will be different based on sort of the collateral ratios from the underlying LSDs. But eventually, you know, as fx/USD grows, you know, we can, through governance process, add more LSDs as well to the system. And so you know, it benefits somebody like Frax or whoever, you know, Rocket Pool or Coinbase ETH or whoever that wants to grow their LSD you know, system, because as more fx/USD goes out into the wild, because it can only be minted based on backed LSDs. As more fx/USD goes out into the wild for like lending protocols or you know LPs or what have you, the more that the yields in the rebalance pool get attractive, and so
Okay,
people want to put.
One question: did you talk to Redacted about this yesterday, about the LSD thing?
We did, yeah, and so so one of the so like with fx/USD, we'll just have those two to start off with, staked frax ETH, and we'll have staked ETH. However, We will also have some farming pools, as we like to call them, and those will basically be any yield-bearing token, right? And so, so like Pyrex ETH, because it's starting off small right now, and it's kind of like not battle tested quite yet. We can start that off in something like its own stable leverage pair in its own vault, and so you'll be able to take Pyrex ETH or whatever, and you'll be able to mint an Pyrex ETH and a X Pyrex ETH, and that will grow their stable, and they're like very excited about the capabilities of the system to grow usage of their LSD as well. And
okay, so hold on a second. Let me break that up for a second because my eyes are starting to glaze over. Okay, hold on.
Thanks, Cogsy.
Hold on. Okay, we went in the last call. We went through Clever, Concentrator, FX, FFN or FX. We went through all the other products, but we didn't talk about this because this is new. The zero beta stable. Okay,
Yes.
So simplify for me. Eli 5. I'm thinking out loud here. So you have 2 whitelisted LSDs to start. It's Frax and Lido, whatever.
Yes.
And then you can deposit their liquid staked ETH and then borrow the FXN against it. I mean, FXUSD.
Yeah, you just mint it. There's no borrowing.
Minting it against it, but the collateral is the liquid stake ETH.
Yes.
Or are you selling the liquid stake ETH when you drop it into the rebalance pool?
You can think of it like that, yeah.
All right, and then, and Frax already offers this function with their staked ETH, right?
I don't believe so. I don't believe that you can mint Frax against staked Frax ETH. I think you can do that through FraxLend, where you can deposit collateral.
Oh yeah, and then get blown out. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now I remember that one. All right, cool. So this is like filling a new hole then for them.
Yeah, this is like a totally different use case, really. Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Loud and clear.
All clear.
Yeah, I just wanted to chat with you guys about FXUSD. It is an interesting system. I like to think of it a little bit differently. I like to think of FXUSD as a way of creating, for any LSD, a 2-token model. So kind of like what Frax did on their own with a 2-token model, FXUSD with any LSD, in this case with Frax and with Lido, is able to basically split those 2 tokens, the LSD tokens, into 2 tokens. One that is exactly pegged at $1, so it's like $1's worth of ETH, and the other side is the X token for that specific LSD that kind of carries all of the extra volatility. So when you mint the FXUSD, you're basically taking your staked Lido or Frax LSD, you're depositing it into the system, and it will give you the option to, if you want to redeem it as FXUSD out in the world as $1, or it automatically gets deposited into the rebalance pool, earning the underlying staked yield. So you have $1 pegged ETH stablecoin earning the yield, the underlying yield of Ethereum, is the way I like to try and think about it. It is a complex system, but it's very elegant in design.
Yeah, Kruger and I have worked on an article that will have some diagrams and stuff that will.
Oh, I like diagrams.
That will hopefully simplify this whole thing for folks that are like, the hell are you guys building over there at Aladdin? It sounds very convoluted and yeah, but we'll simplify it. We'll get it out there.
Thank you, crypto investor, for
Sure.
that. That's helpful.
Sure, absolutely. Happy to.
So, you think that this is going to be fill a market hole that isn't currently being used, and it sounds like Kmets that you're going to be able to widen the net of LSDs that are looking for this as a service?
Yeah, we think so. I mean, we've already been approached by some, liquid stake derivatives, and then also some liquid restaking tokens as well, because they, imagine, I think we had a proposal put up on our forums by Tao, and I think he was talking about like sort of etherfies, EETH is something like at 28%, I believe, something like that. So imagine being able to hold a US dollar stable position earning 28% APR in, whatever the liquid restake token yield is. I mean, it's unheard of, right?
And then it's actually higher than that, because it's the other portion of the yield that's normally would go to the X tokens is getting sent to the rebalance pool. And then you also have FXN gauges. So there could be a bribe market, and people with CVX can vote. So that 28% can actually be in the 30s. So we think that FX is going to make it so that any LSD can automatically have a higher yield because of the natural sink that's created by creating the leverage tokens, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just silence.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to wrap your brain around.
I got a question, Kmets. How is the new stable gonna flow back to Aladdin, to the Aladdin token?
Well, so ALD has 30% of the entire supply of FXN tokens, VE locked. Well, they are being VE locked. They're not entirely VE locked right now, because mainly if we locked all of them right now, it would completely destroy the revenue, the yield for CVX FXN and SDFXN. So but we have like 30% of the supply of FXN that will be locked, and I don't know what portion of that revenue will eventually go to ALD holders, because right now ALD is going through sort of a tokenomics revamp, and we will be capping the supply at 150 here, 150 million within the next few days. And so
last time you were on, there was right before you guys voted on that.
Yeah.
And then it went through, and it was, and then now you're going to execute it.
Yeah, we're going to execute it. We're going to throw away the key to never turn that back on again, the admin for it. And then essentially, once that's completed, we'll then move to a VE tokenomics model for ALD. So there will be some sort of a revenue flow back for ALD holders as well. So I don't have a timeline on that, but it's definitely in the scope of things to come for sure. And so that's how ALD will eventually sort of benefit from all the revenue sources that all of the Aladdin products generate.
Something else that I picked up that you said a little while ago, I didn't want to interrupt you, but that you said there was 3% of the convex that was it the concentrator?
It's about 4%, about 4% of all
upside potential. It's like, thinking about like in the options market where you're buying a cheap call, that's like a perfect option, right? Because there's so little, it has so little usage, and any bump is exponentially, makes it more powerful. Like you said, imagine if you had 15 or 18% of the CVX in there, how much it would pay.
Yeah, and I think one of the ways that we sort of look at ALD is that it will basically operate as sort of like the convex of these other systems, right? And so because we have like 30% of all the underlying tokens VE locked, those can almost act like a boost, right, for the protocols and the revenue generated from them. So, that's another aspect of it as well. So, it's the team's cooking, baby. We're trying to
make it always cooking.
Yeah, we're trying to make things as awesome as possible, and of course the community is as well. So
how did XETH perform on the recent ETH like price movements? We talked about that.
I mean, it was double. It was double.
I think it was like $1.50 or something. Now it's like $1.25. But the thing is, there's no liquidation, so I'm just happy having it
Meaning
fit in my
that
wallet.
my question was, did it act as it was supposed to? Like
Yes.
you
Oh
just
yeah,
talked
I think
about.
it did. Absolutely. 100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and the good thing too is like it's hooked up to an Oracle that's getting a 30-minute twop. So it's things are smoothed out a little bit, but overall it performed great. The system's very healthy right now. It's there's a lot. It's very much the collateral ratio of FETH to the underlying staked ETH is it's quite healthy at like 200% or something.
Well, you've had
Very
a
good.
massive week of like calls and information, and I mean, you're like your Twitter space, and you guys had a really big week. Plus the end of the boosters program, like the closing of the epoch of the boosters. It's just been like nonstop wall-to-wall coverage of Aladdin stuff on my feeds.
Good. It's working.
Yeah. So, what do you think about new boosters for like people, llamas that are wanting to kind of like break into the booster program? Like, what are we missing? What's the TikTok? Fucking TikTok dances?
TikTok would be great. We don't have any like TikTokers. I mean, that's probably like the
Yeah.
best way to like break in is like if you got some sweet, slick back dances or whatever.
Somewhere where there's nobody else. Like, you got to go find like the unharvested areas.
Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of like next door posts or anything like that. Not a lot of LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. We got a lot of LinkedIn pictures in your Twitter calls.
I want to say, you know what? We should have a LinkedIn booster around, like some folks with LinkedIn.
That's all they use. It's their only social network.
I would vote for them.
God, I'm trying to bring the word of Aladdin to the suits.
So, yeah, someone on LinkedIn. Oh, oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I think for folks that are wanting to kind of get into the booster round, I mean, just start cranking out content. I mean, if you're here, listening to us, where all the DeFi info is and whatnot, and who the folks are and where they go. Like Twitter or X or whatever it is now is the big one. And so, I guess Farcaster. I think we've had some folks post on Farcaster, and then also like we've got one guy. I think Wolfran. He's like on DeBank, and he'll post like stuff that he contributes on DeBank.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that thing.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't look at it, Cogsy.
He's super into it.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, I mean, and then just on hanging out in the Discord and whatnot. So there's lots.
I
of
wanted
ways
to make sure to tell everybody that in full disclosure that I was a booster this round and I got 0.6 FXN. And pretty proud of this pull of what I was able to get done on this one. It'll buy me one jug of Dina's extremely expensive cold brew coffee. But I was
Oh,
like
man.
full blown chilling for the llamas. Like I was trying to. I kind of just decided I was going to go all in on pointing people towards our vote, towards the greater good. At least that's what I say.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to give a big boost to the llamas because I know they've been working hard with, a lot of development work for FX. So I pitched it to C2. I pitched it to everybody I could possibly talk to that had any type of voting power to see if they can throw votes to the llamas.
Yeah, and like I say, we watch these booster rounds closely. Just to one of the things we definitely want is to make sure that folks feel like it's worth their time to participate, and so we're always kind of like thinking about like ways to make it better, and make sure that the folks that are really contributing are getting rewarded. And so we don't want this to turn into like a giant political game of who knows who, and I've got a flumpteen bazillion SDFXN, so I'm just going to vote for myself or something. We don't want that. That sort of defeats the purpose. But ultimately, getting folks to contribute and just there's enough FXN to go around. So
yeah, like in my case, I use 60% of my voting power to vote for others, basically. But just to be completely fully transparent, but it's on chain so you guys can see it. But anyway, I definitely think that there's lots of contributors. There's going to be new ones, and I'm always keeping my eye open for anybody that contributes to help them out as well.
Yeah, and not only do we have like the FX booster rounds, but for folks that want to get involved as well, like we have the Clever booster rounds that are still ongoing, and it's a great way to earn Clev tokens and participate there. That one's a little bit smaller, and it's actually kind of like a little bit easier to kind of get involved and earn some tokens. And we're always looking for ways to improve that one as well. So I mean, it's plenty of ways to get involved in Aladdin.
We we saw that llamas got a lot of love from VoteBlock CVX, and I know that you've recently had quite a big vote to increase your furnace rate, which might be of interest to a lot of CVX holders here using.
Oh yeah, so we have, you know what, I will nuts.
Screen share.
No, I'm not going to screen share, but I was going to show the link here for it. But in case folks wanted to learn more about it, but we have a proposal up on Snapshot right now, and I'll put the forum post up so folks can read about it if they want. But it's a vote that's ongoing now on Snapshot for Clever, and basically what we're doing is we're raising the CVX harvest fee on Clever from 20 to 30%. And you're like, well, that stinks. Like, who wants to pay more? Well, the end result of this ultimately is not that users of the product of Clever like are paying very little right now in terms of real rates, in terms of being able to mint Clev CVX. Like, it is pretty competitive in terms of borrowing rates to basically double your CVX yields. And so we decided, the one of the main things that Clever needs in order to operate correctly and in a very efficient manner is the curve LP needs to be in a way that folks can get in and out of it with Clev CVX or CVX with a decent amount of liquidity. And so this proposal will basically essentially help rebalance the Clev CVX LP on curve so that it takes some of that Clev CVX out and puts it back into the furnace, because by raising the harvest fee, so the furnace is basically a place where Clev CVX and CVX can get swapped for one another, and the Clev CVX gets burned. And you could think of Clev CVX as like CVX that's on sale. Like right now, it's like at a 30% discount to CVX. And over time, one Clev CVX will always turn into CVX. And it's basically...
So it's a discounted bond.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so...
Over how long?
Well, right now, it's like over a year, right? And so... But the kicker is, if you want to speed that up, you can throw more CVX in to the furnace. And by taking this larger harvest fee, we can do that essentially. And so it will be, we'll be able to, based on some of our calculations, it's like 30 or 40%, maybe even 50% higher on the rebond APR, which is basically like the rate, the liquid rate for, depositing your Clev CVX in there, or swapping Clev CVX for CVX and putting it in there. But this will speed up the burn rate in the furnace, such that year might get shrunk down to like 6 months or 4 months. And then, folks will be able to basically purchase Clev CVX at a lower discount, but it will get turned into CVX faster. So this will help bring CVX depositors into Clever. It will also help to make getting in and out of the furnace with any liquid Clev CVX you have easier. And then it will basically bring more revenue in as well. So, I mean, it's kind of like a win-win-win every which way you look at it.
Something else too, I think that this move is probably going to attract more institutional interest in something like Clever. I genuinely believe that, because it allows them to really accumulate CVX at a cheaper price over time. And so as long as they're playing a long strategy, then I think that you're going to start seeing some of those some of that developing. Part of the issue was the slippage in the pool. So I think that this proposal will make a big difference for that.
Yeah, that's the hope. Hope
Yep.
so.
Yep.
We'll find out.
Absolutely.
I mean, it should start to, the vote right now is ongoing, and I believe if it's not today, then it's Monday. That's the last day to vote. And basically, when the vote's over and it's approved, we can basically send through a multi-sig, and it'll be ready for this next convex epoch in terms of the gauge votes. So it's very quick.
Okay, if you think that, go ahead, Panda.
I was just going to say, what's the feedback been from the community on this? I mean, I followed closely the the fx.USD, and that was kind of pretty overwhelming support. Has the feedback been the same with this?
Yeah, pretty much, because I think most folks realize that it's a new product, right? I mean, Clever's been around for a little over a year, and it's been very successful. But one of the reasons it's been successful is just the fee to mint Clev CVX has been pretty darn cheap, and so we're basically in the process of basically trying to right size the fee to charge this thing. And so folks have been really good. Earlier this year we did one where we downsized the revenue share for VE Clev holders from 75% to 50%. And the reason we did that was basically so that we could subsidize the liquidity incentives for the Clev CVX LP with just revenue, and not have to throw in Clev tokens as well. And so, we're really fortunate at Aladdin to have like a pretty mature DeFi community that sort of understands that, these are long-term products, but it's been pretty good feedback so far. And the core team, we really try to do our best to sort of enunciate exactly what we're doing and how it's beneficial for folks, and not try to just be like, yeah, we're raising the fees, just figure it out, whatever.
Yeah, you're giving him a reason why it needs to happen.
Oh yeah.
If they if you're like me and you think that the CVX turn was at 250 spike, what's the trade? Is it like buy as much CVX as you can and dump it into Concentrator?
Well, what are you trying to do?
What's the most bullish trade that you could do on Aladdin?
Buying Clev CVX and depositing it in the furnace, buying it at a discount.
So instead of buying
don't buy CVX, buy Clev CVX at 25% discount, deposit it into the furnace, and over time it goes 1-to-1 CVX.
So,
that's one strategy.
Yeah. The other way you can do it is and that's for a totally liquid position, right? And that will that's one way to do it. Now, if you've got a vote lock of CVX coming up or whatever, and you're debating on what to do, I mean, you can always deposit into Clever, borrow your mint 50% of that Clev CVX against it, and then deposit that into the furnace. And
exactly.
then you basically have upped your returns on your CVX by 30 or 40%. And so there's a couple. I mean, it just depends on if are you trying to grow your CVX stack? Or are you trying to increase your yield? I mean, are you trying to stay liquid? Are you okay with being locked and not voting in the biweekly gauge votes yourself? I mean, for most folks, they're having to make these decisions and these trade-offs. But Clever, we're trying to make it the best of all worlds, right? And so and that's one of the reasons why ABC CVX exists. So if you're like, I don't know what the hell to do, it's like, well, just go put it in ABC CVX, and we'll arb the Clev pool, and we'll arb the furnace as well for you. So that's sort of the easy no-brainer thing to do if folks are confused. But
and that's 100% liquid. So
yeah.
What is that earning currently, Kmets? Is that a little over 30%, or is it just under 30 right now? I know I've seen it at 30 at one point.
It depends on how much locked VE Clev you have, because it has a boostable gauge on Clever.
Oh.
So you can earn up to 40% or something like that on your liquid CVX. So,
right. That's an interesting option.
Yeah, I think at the moment, one of the what folks, and obviously not financial advice, is because of this proposal. You'll see the discount on Club CVX shrink up relatively quickly, I think. So folks can sort of evaluate that in their decision making as well.
All right, thank you, Kmets. Was there anything else that you wanted to tack on? I've got like just a few minutes left here, and I was going to try to slam in some updates at the end. And I wanted to know if there was other like important things that you felt like you wanted to that we had missed or we hadn't talked about in the last call. I mean, other than the announcing the fx.USD I concept.
I don't really. No, not really. I think we've touched on most of the stuff. Like Aladdin's got a lot going on. And if we're always looking for folks to contribute in any way they want or can, and they can obviously DM myself or anybody else really with Aladdin and let us know how they want to help out and contribute or be a part of it or learn more or anything we can do to sort of simplify these products, because a lot of them are complicated, obviously. And so
yeah, I'm excited to see the dashboard coming up, and then also your Medium post or whatever you said that you were going to write on fx.USD.
Yeah, we've got an article that'll be coming out here not too distant future that'll sort of have some diagrams and things like that. But yeah, I mean that's sort of our main goal, is to get the word out there and educate folks and make sure they understand. And it's sort of a disadvantage of being so close and inside the system is you I remember talking to Kruger once about this. I was like, man, I've read the white paper like a dozen times. Like I pity folks that are trying to wrap their brain around this the first time.
Yeah, you live and breathe this stuff, so it's just automatic for you.
Yeah, CryptoVestor and I, we had a conversation a couple weeks ago about like Clever, and he was like, "Man, this thing's complicated." And I go, "Yeah, I guess it is, isn't it? It is. It is. You really have to like sit down and wrap your mind about it." But I like stuff that's kind of like like a internal combustion engine or something. It's got a lot of moving parts, but we're definitely trying to make it simple. Yeah. Yeah, our docs do need some work, and if folks want to volunteer to help us, simplify those docs or make them better to read, we definitely, we'll take you up on any help. I mean, it's a DAO, right? I mean, there's no centralized, entity.
Sounds like there might be incentivized.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff coming up, a lot to look forward to. And thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thank you. And you had a hell of a week. I want to go back and listen to that whole call that you did yesterday. Also,
that was a good one.
I only caught part of it. I've only got a couple minutes left. I'm going to pick on you, Dina. Dina.
I'm here.
Okay, thank God. Everybody wants to know about your meta update work because they've all been peeking behind the curtain at you and watching what you're doing.
I've got about 10 more left to do. 10 more left to do with that silly little script that probably had you guys wondering what variety of glue I was huffing when I decided to inflate my commit count on GitHub by about 1,000 commits so far. I'm still undecided about how.
So to answer when meta update, the answer is she has 10 llamas left to update, and then we push it.
Yeah, but it's already live.
What?
Like the URL for it, it's already live. And I also have it like on a test on Sepolia right now, and it's returning perfectly fine.
Well, thank you for putting all that work in, because all the twin people are super excited to get their new ones.
Yeah,
including the person that just talked on this call for a while.
Yeah, that one's already in too.
Yay!
Yeah, I can see there we've got two twins in the audience right now, Grindcore and Generate, so they'll be up really shortly.
Oh, Grindcore is badass. Yeah, he doesn't even know it's getting fixed. Yeah, you're getting a new llama. You're getting a new llama.
Yeah, it's getting fixed. You're getting a new llama.
The project that we started 9 months ago is finally coming to completion.
Yeah, I mean, we had so much going on, right? Like we had with the marketplace and all of the dev work, and all of the other like projects we've been incubating, helping, etc. So like we've that little period over Christmas, we had a few minutes to breathe and get the meta update done, which is nice to finally get it completed. And you're getting a new llama as well, right, Cogsy?
Yeah,
Already
I've got
rocking it.
I've got one coming. Well, I'm already using
You've got
it.
a special.
Yeah, I've already got it in my PFP. What about? Oh, did you want to? And Dina, you're also at the same time as you're doing the meta update, you are multitasking and working on the Blockmates launch, right?
Yeah.
So you talked about that a couple weeks ago, and do we have a date on that? Panda and Hoth?
No, I think not a firm date. I'm not sure, Hoth, Panda, if
We're about a month out from that. We're just confirming when we're going to have them on the Graze, so then everyone can hear about what the lab pass is going to do, how some llamas can get one, and we'll post all of that information ahead of time so everyone can come and listen.
Awesome. And then you've been working on some other side project stuff also, like new things, or are you like full blown going into the curve stuff?
yes. Yes. Both?
Both. So you have 4 consecutive projects. Like
About.
side by side.
Yeah.
There's a coffee channel? What is this?
Why do you think I can have 4 of them?
Oh, that's why you have 4 projects going,
Yeah.
because of this channel. Sorry, I had
No,
to translate it. I had to translate it for the burgers. They don't know what that means.
Ah.
Hawthorne, anything from you?
No, I mean, I guess I have one last question for Kmets. But
Nice.
that's that. No. Yeah. So just, I'm just curious with f of x, like using liquidity from a, a Frax. Are you planning to deploy to Fraxel?
We don't have that in the immediate roadmap, but like anything's possible.
Yeah, just curious, just off the top of my head. Yeah, man. I appreciate the time today. It was awesome to hear about all your updates and everything. You guys are real busy.
Absolutely, sir. Love being here talking with you guys about all projects, public and super secret.
Oh, I threw up a badge for the one in badge in production that we didn't do an announcement on it yet. If everybody who's on here has pretty much got a llama, so they got the ping. Hold on, let me go read it. It was one of these crazy days yesterday where I had like 12 things I was trying to work on at the same time. I can't link it, can I? Can't even find the damn channel, Hawthorne. Sorry, guys. Hold on a second.
Oh, what are you trying to find? Are you looking for
the badge that I had put up yesterday?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Omniscient.
Oh yeah, that was a big
really cool. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
really
the curve ants, like the partner testnet badge.
Oh, testnet badge. Yeah.
So a bunch of people got into their Discord, got set up for it, got whitelisted, and then now you're just waiting for their testnet to go live. Anybody who's on the call, it doesn't have a llama. Sometimes we'll post badges and possible jobs or testnet, testing jobs or art jobs or whatever, and we won't even do an announcement like in general. So it gets pinged to everybody who has a llama. So we're not spamming the announcement section every single day with every badge, especially as we get more and more badges and it starts to become more common. So there is a kind of a cool you don't have to be super techie to do the testnet badge for Curvans. It's just step by step. They give you everything that you need to do. It's pretty simple. and it's going to be kind of a cool, brand new thing to try out. And then you had talked about the announcement of congratulating Omnificent of being hired full time by Poly.
Yeah. I mean, it's really well deserved and really good news.
Big story to be able to go from just being like a regular, llama doing badge work in the trenches to getting hired on full time. I mean, it's a great story.
Yeah, definitely. It's like the whole basis of like the existing as this talent, like I'm a hub. It's all that kind of starting to happen. It's really awesome to watch as we grow, and I'm kind of spreading like I'm heard all across crypto, and then keeping to make cool shit.
All right, thanks guys. One last thing, Dina shared like a alpha video in the Friday Graze chat, and it's got like her bot running the the updates for the metadata. It's pretty cool. So take a look at that, and I'm going to sign off. Have a good day. Thank you all.
Thanks, Cogsy.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Have a great weekend.